Bienvenidos a todos ustedes una vez más. Estamos que reunidos los mosquiperros. Y en esta ocasión con algo un poquito distinto. Estamos hablando de The Town of Light. La verdad, en este segundo canal mi idea siempre ha sido traer un poco algunos otros juegos que me gustan, y dentro de ese género la parte narrativa, la parte de aventuras interactivas siempre me ha gustado mucho. Por eso nos fuimos mucho hacia el lado de Lovecraft, que tiene algunos juegos bastante similares que se cruzan un poco con un Walking Simulator, con lo que es un juego de puzzle, con un poquito ahí de survival, unos tintes de survival. Sin embargo, hay historias muy buenas que no dependen en sí de pertenecer al horror. Este pareciese ser el caso de The Town of Light, un juego que lo vi en la tienda y me llamó mucho la atención. Escabroso, cuando menos, sin ser de terror. Les aviso al tiro que esto no es un juego de terror, pero un juego inquietante de muchas maneras. Lo estuve jugando un ratito y la verdad, queda un mal yuyu interesante. ¿De qué trata? Bueno, se trata un poco de una visita a lo que era un hospital psiquiátrico del siglo XX, si no me equivoco, siglo XX, siglo XIX, si no me equivoco. No, siglo XX, perdón, estoy puro leseando. Y que sabemos que eran bastante hórridos los tratamientos que habían ahí en aquellas instancias. Pero no hablemos más, probémoslo. Decirles también que esto está un poco fuera de la programación habitual. Yo, para cuando grabo esto, estoy jugando todavía Trópico 5, que me queda un montón, Dark Souls 2, que me queda un montón, y estoy con Zombie Army, que ese, si bien es más cortito, todavía me falta. Sin embargo, yo creo que The Town of Light, como no es muy largo, no es muy extenso, lo planeo terminar unos 3 4 videos, y esos se van a subir juntos. Cuando lo termine los 4, los voy a subir los 4 y van a interrumpir un poquito lo demás. Pero ya, fuera de eso, vamos a partir desde el principio, obviamente. The Town of Light está basado en sucesos y lugares reales, al igual que toda la documentación que refiere a enfermedades mentales y a la vida de los pacientes manicomios desde los principios del siglo XX hasta su cierre. Contiene historias que pueden ser perturbadoras, y sugerimos el uso del juego exclusivamente al público adulto. Los personajes y los nombres son ficticios, y cualquier semejanza con personas reales es pura coincidencia. El juego usa una interpretación artística de una antigua institución psiquiátrica italiana solo para fines dramáticos. Nótese que los servicios para enfermedades mentales ya no son iguales y han mejorado radicalmente. Si usted cree tener problemas psicológicos, por favor recurra a un especialista. Volterra, 1942. Bueno, yo alcancé a jugar un ratito, así que...
What is this place? Maybe I'm dead. I can't see any light. Maybe I am dead. I can't get up. What's going on? What's happening to me? There's no one here, but these noises. God, my head is killing me. I can't keep my eyes open.
La realidad... bueno, no alcanza a leer, pero decía, la realidad se desvanece y algo más, inspirado en hechos reales. Estamos en el 2016, ojo. Toscana 2016, esto ocurría en 1925, no, 1940 y algo, así que han pasado 60 años. 60 añitos. En esta introducción yo la alcancé a jugar un ratito probando, y con alegría te puedo decir que sí funcionan los juegos. Cosa menor. Pero si el protagonista o la protagonista es la misma, o sea, tendríamos que ser ya mayores de edad, es decir, ha pasado harto tiempo del 1940 y algo al 2016. Mucho tiempo. Esto siempre lo hago para probar un poquito las mecánicas que tan Walking Simulator, cuánta interactividad me va a dar, y alegría de verificar que sí lo tiene. Hasta el columpio funciona, pero no lo vamos a probar ahora. Me agrada bastante el aspecto visual. Aquí te enseñan a usar las cosas, te enseñan a usar la linterna. Está claro que esto lleva abandonado, pero un piño de tiempo, muchísimo tiempo, la verdad. Aquí podemos ver algunas fotos. Estas, si no me equivoco, son fotos reales de la institución. Debieran ser reales. De cómo era en aquellos tiempos. Una antigua radio. Mi viejo tiene una radio muy muy parecida a esta. Muy parecida. La mantiene en perfecto estado, eso sí. Pero sí. Esto está abandonado, pero hace muchísimo. Ya. Con esto, por si acaso, no se puede correr. Y esto estaba cerrado, o sea, esto está abandonado y cerrado hace harto. Se puede ver por las mallas que están puestas.
This place. Time. Memory.
Este era el patio. Mira, interesante observar que no podían salir al patio. Esa institución estaba cerrada con reja. Y ellos no podían, los que estaban no podían pasar a los juegos. Estaban cerrados. Por aquí no vine la primera vez, así que... El aumento de los casos de intento de suicidio requiere que se tome una postura definitiva contra esta conducta. Nuestra posición actual consiste en considerar este comportamiento altamente perturbado, miserable y antipatriótico, especialmente en el caso de las chicas jóvenes. Se ruega ilustrarnos sobre este asunto. Firma ilegible. Como les digo aquí, yo no vine la primera vez por aquí. Desalar. Como un calabozo esta wea. Un plato, un colchón. Me pregunto si encerrarían a alguien aquí. Que hasta hay una basenica. Oh, una suerte basenica ahí. Un tarro. Si esto seguramente funcionaba como calabozo, si lo queréis llamar. Está por aquí cerrado. Y por aquí, bueno, se retorna al mismo lado. Mira que descubrí esto así casi por chiripa. Y mira que podía entrar por acá, que estaba abierto. No me había fijado yo. Acceso prohibido. Ya. La primera vez me metí al tiro aquí en la institución. Y ahí es donde les digo que la verdad, se nota que está bien hecho. O sea, da un mal mal yuyu, ¿cómo decirlo? Charcot. Bueno, ya creo que hay otra entrada, pero esta es la que queremos. ¿Qué tenemos? Inventario de los efectos personales del paciente al ser ingresado. Congregación de caridad, administración del hospital psiquiátrico, inventario, artículos de ropa y calzado, dinero, tarjetas y otros objetos de valor en el día del ingreso en el manicomio para la observación. Renée, el 12 del 3 del 19 del 38. Detalles de prendas, cantidad de dinero, objeto de valor, tarjeta y otros objetos, notas. Un jersey, una ropa interior, un par de calcetines, zapatos, pañales, faldas, vestidos, chaquetones. El resto no, po. Sombreros, boinas, polainas, polos, abrigos, mantones, corbatas. Claro, ayudante del director, Volterra en la fecha. Volterra, este es un telegrama, pero está vacío. Se ruega comunicar a cualquier familiar la muerte de... Este es el formato que tenían, en caso de que muriera alguien. Bueno, aquí tenemos algunas fotos más. Ya, inventario del paciente. Estos son los formularios que tienen. No hay corriente. El interruptor general está cerca de la sala tranquila. Admitido el 15 de junio de 1937, fallecía el 8 de noviembre de 1942. El de Amara, archivo administrativo. Aquí esto alcancé a verificar un poquito, encontrar más documentos. Estos son los formatos de los documentos que tenían. Nombre y apellido: Francesca Agostini. Padre Arduino, estado civil, viuda. Diagnóstico: demencia incipiente, derivado desde el manicomio de Roma, transferirá a salas de observación del manicomio. ¿Qué tenemos? Informe de función, Dina Giuliani. Nada por aquí. Nada por acá. Todo esto está abandonado aquí. A ver, Volterra, 12.926. Irene, 26 años. La mujer está en estado de gran agitación y maldice a su hija de 3 años por haberle arruinado la vida. Quería llevársenos, la condenada niña. Quería matarnos. Es el diablo. Escúchame, es el mismo diablo. Ha destruido mi capacidad para dar vida. Ha dejado a su hermana en silencio. El silencio da miedo. La madre explica que su marido, Eric K., preocupado por su hija, llamó a un médico que al apercibirse del estado de la mujer y el potencial riesgo para su hija, inició el proceso de admisión con carácter de urgencia. La mujer fue ingresada y puesta en observación en la habitación individual, no por ser peligrosa, sino atendiendo a su clase social. Parecía la opción más apropiada. La madre realizaba una generosa donación a esta institución para que se pueda encontrar un alojamiento más adecuado para su hija. Aviso: se permite una visita a pacientes militares por disposición superior, solo a padres, hermanos, hermanas, esposas e hijos. Previa autorización por escrito de la familia, los conocidos del paciente podrán obtener información sobre su salud y estado mental, llamando al médico de guardia. En caso de no presentar dicha autorización en la puerta, se denegará el acceso. Cualquier permiso se concederá ocasionalmente si el estado del paciente lo permite y el progenitor, hermano u esposa solicitante ofrece garantía de vigilancia y custodia. No se permitirá visitar a los pacientes a ninguna otra persona fuera de la institución. Cualquier objeto destinado a un paciente deberá autorizarse en todo caso por las autoridades sanitarias. Se prohíben estrictamente el vino y las bebidas de alta graduación alcohólica. A la Congregación de Caridad de Volterra, la cual, en total cumplimiento de las directrices del régimen fascista, con un espíritu de gran iniciativa y racionalidad de sus criterios técnicos, procedió a organizar ejemplarmente una empresa agraria de cultivo de alta intensidad autogestionada en los campos de Volterra, donde la tierra compacta, accidentada y arcillosa se utilizaba previamente como pasto ralo. La Comisión Provisional Secundaria, reconociendo solemnemente este particular mérito rural, decidió en votación unánime conceder el presente certificado de honor especial y una gran medalla de oro en la competición trienal como premio para todas las empresas bajo la égida del agro volterrano. Sí, pues aquí estamos en 1946, estamos en esta fecha, o esta institución funcionaba en esta fecha. Estábamos, claro, en toda la época de la Segunda Guerra Mundial todavía. Estamos en aquellos contextos.
The only thing I remember clearly is Charlotte, my doll.
este no lo alcancé a revisar la primera vez. Pasé como muy rápido y no visité todas las habitaciones. Esto está cerrado.
No, she's freezing. She's alone. Let's look for her.
Esas son las salas de observación. Ya por aquí ya habíamos visto. Nada por aquí. Algunas fotos más. Interruptor. Este era el interruptor. Esto me acuerdo que lo vi. A ver, estás aquí, estamos en escaleras. Claro, sala de conferencias, sala de espera, sala tranquila. Ya, de momento no tenemos ningún objetivo muy específico, así que... Esto ya lo vimos. Esto de acá no lo hemos visto. Pero me sigue chirriando eso de que esta historia está ambientada en un hospital psiquiátrico del año 1940 y raya, y nos acaban de presentar que este personaje que estuvo aquí está volviendo a visitarlo en el año 2016.
Nobody says we can't. Let's find Charlotte.
Ya ha pasado mucho tiempo, o este personaje debiera ser una anciana, cosa que me da la impresión de que no es. Ya, esa rueda que se mueve es un poco inquietante. A ver, documento de transferencia paciente, nombre, apellido, Clemente
Let's search the
Fanti.
wards on the upper floor. There's a plan on the wall which shows their location.
Fallecido. Las radiografías. Aquí no hay mucho. Ya, esto yo lo quería comentar. Estos afiches que se muestran, weón, no pueden ser más tétricos, weón. Desarticulizaciones. Si te fijas, le están cortando la mano, weón. Le están enseñando el procedimiento para cortarle la mano, weón, y dejar el muñón. Uff. ¿Y cómo hacer incisiones, weón? No.
Let's find Charlotte. She's alone. She's alone in the dark.
Esta es.
Mummy took good care of Charlotte. She tucked her in, hugged her, gave her cuddles and kisses. She was very affectionate and loving. Nothing bad happened to Charlotte, and that surprised me. I didn't understand. At first, I was quite scared, and I was afraid that she wanted to hurt me. I lived in constant fear that Mom would abandon her. Because I didn't deserve to live. I didn't deserve to be loved.
Añadido el sumario. Esto, si no me equivoco, era el fin del
It's
capítulo
cold.
1.
It's dark. Look, she's cold. She'll get ill. We can take care of her. Nobody can stop us. Charlotte is a good girl.
J para acceder al sumario. Experiencia. Diario de Renée. Sí, aquí podemos ir viendo algunos... Está, nuevo capítulo. Esto no lo tenemos, lamentablemente está vacío. Esto lo tenemos. Me recuerdo
My
que...
memory of those years is hazy. Between the age of about 7 and 10, my memories are disconnected, and I couldn't say how many times and how frequently the light used to come. My mother gave me a doll around that time. Charlotte. Thinking back to it makes me want to laugh. But at the beginning, I remembered that I was afraid of her. I thought she wanted to harm me, to kill me and take my place. But when the light came, she would stay beside me, and her presence. Did not disturb me. I was able to talk to her, and so she became my best friend. At least until I was in grade 2, when everything changed. She didn't laugh at me, and if I had to say something to my mother, I asked her to say it. When things inside me turned bad, she was the only one I could turn to. Now all of this makes me blush, but Charlotte was a real friend to me. I knew that she was just a doll. I wasn't stupid, but at the same time, she was real too. I don't know how to explain it. It's difficult. My mother would cuddle her and tell her things. I guess she was trying to communicate with me. But back then, I was too afraid to understand it.
Al pico igual, weón. Bueno, del resto creo que no tenemos nada. No, si no me equivoco, no tenemos nada más de aquí. Memorias. Tenemos la primera, la memoria madre. Registros médicos. Aún no hay documentos. No sé qué es esto todavía. Glándula salivaire. No sé, weón. Tan tétrica esta weá. En esos tiempos esto era... Hasta que evolucionó mucho la psiquiatría, era más una tortura que otra weá. Eran laboratorios estas weas. Aquí ya vine. Aquí no vine.
Those lamps could make the room warmer, but Charlotte's not happy. She doesn't feel well.
Ya mira, aquí esto lo había alcanzado a ver. Aquí hay otros también. Otras ilustraciones, weón, que son pero pa'l hoyo. O sea, no sé si hay mucho que comentar. En particular esta, weón, me deja para la cagada. Pero acá, weón.
I saw a wheelchair on the ground floor. It's comfortable there, and we can put Charlotte somewhere warm.
Mira, esta amputación es desarticulación, metacapril. Weón, es como parecía la otra, pero en vez de cortar a la altura de la muñeca, cortan a la altura de los dedos, weón. Y cierran el muñón ahí dejando solamente el pulgar. Pa'l pico esa weá. Pa'l pico, weón. Bueno, aquí...
Charlotte is cold. Let's take her somewhere warm.
Aquí nos dice que había una silla de rueda en la parte de abajo. Sí, ya lo vi. Para acá también lo vi. Y sí. Yo probando y sin haber investigado tanto ni haber leído nada, había llegado más o menos hasta acá. Y llamáis al ascensor y que tenéis que llevar a Charlotte acá.
Charlotte will be comfy here. But it's cold. No, it's cold. Don't shiver, Charlotte. The cold will go away. It'll go away.
Este chico, weón, cuando menos. Tenemos que hacer esto aquí. Sorprendente que el ascensor funcione después de tanto tiempo. ¿Y aquí por dónde era? Me di la vuelta larga y había un papel.
The cold has gone away now. You see? The light, the warmth. We can do it. The cold will go away. It has to. Now we can enter the ward where everything started. It all began in the observation ward on the ground floor.
A la observación. Ok. Informe público de admisión. PISA, provincia de informe de administración. Ya. A ver. No, era en la de observación. La de observación queda abajo, planta baja, sí. Sala de observaciones, es el 8 y el 8 queda hacia allá. Qué tétrica esta wea. ¿Cómo no queda hacia acá? ¿La habré vendido? Ah, está el 8. Ah, está al otro lado. Observación, porque dice clarito. No puedo mirar hacia atrás. Ay, hombre. Pero ahí no hay piso, pues, weón. Ahora hay piso. Y esto se dio una vuelta harto más psicodélica de lo que me hubiera gustado. Ay, a la concha, la lora, weón. Espero que aquí vamos para arriba. No me deja mirar hacia atrás. Inception es una mierda aquí. La sala de observación. Está claro que esto es un viaje introspectivo.
One day I turned off the light, but it didn't go dark. It was a limitless immensity, a blinding, merciless light. I was 16 years old, and I was afraid, always afraid, a fear that wore me down. I needed help, but I couldn't speak.
I was terrified of everything, even thinking. They said they were taking me to a place where the fear would go away, where I would get better. I stopped living in there. They dragged me away and stripped off all my clothes, everything. I tried to explain what was going on in my head. They tied me to the bed for days. I was alone with my nightmares. It wasn't fear anymore. It was madness. And when you're mad, you cease to exist. She was my only hope in this hell. I was descending down among the damned. But that woman and her smile kept me alive.
Capítulo 3. Son cortitos los capítulos. De verdad me van a hacer andar aquí de noche, weón. O sea, no había otro concepto más tétrico. Ya de día, weón. Ya de día. Yo no me metería ahí, ahora tengo que meterme de noche. Archivo psiquiátrico de Volterra. Archivo de transferencia T. Renée. Esos somos nosotros. Padre desconocido. Edad 17. Había pasado un año. La dejaron a los 16. La paciente transfería el alojamiento temporal de las salas de observación a la ala tranquila.
The door is locked from the outside. Here the doors can only be locked and unlocked from the outside.
¿Qué se supone que haga yo aquí? Bueno.
You can't get out of here. Only the dead can leave this place.
Y eso que yo había leído que esto no era terror. Una cosa es que no tenga sustos, pero de que provoca una sensación de cosquilleo en los huevos, en los cocos, weón. Sí, efectivamente los provoca. Estamos en el punto 13, que es... O sea, estamos cerca de la sala enfermera. No, pero weón. Conche tu madre, weón. Me puedo mover aquí. Pueden estar aquí es pa'l pico. ¿A dónde mierda nos trajeron, weón?
He laughed, panted, and slobbered all over me. It hurt me when he touched me. I thought I'd suddenly split open with a loud crack, and I would be shattered into pieces. I felt fragile, sick, dirty, degraded. All I could do was clutch Charlotte tightly while Renée obeyed. He was the master in the realm of light. I was being consumed by the evil act I had committed. I threw up and could feel hell getting closer and closer. Those tests the doctors did to me.
Weón, palpico.
They said there was something growing inside, and they wanted to drag it out of me.
Bueno, estaba claro que iban a abusar ahí, pues, weón. Estos weones hacían la weá que querían, pues, en esos tiempos. Como decía, la gente que estaba... Parecía que la gente que estaba loca dejaba de existir ahí, pues, weón. Ese era el concepto que había. Wow. Claro, y estas weas eran verdaderas prisiones, weón, en un laberinto, estas weas. Y el poco entendimiento de las enfermedades mentales hacía que la misma gente les tuviera pánico, les tuviera un pavor a estas weas. Aquí ya estamos, por así decirlo, en... Añadir el sumario. A ver. Esto ya lo vimos. Diario de Renée. ¿Hay algo nuevo? Sí, hay algo nuevo, fíjate. Aquí. A ver. No puedo...
He felt accused, hurt. I chased him away. I insulted him. He was proud, handsome. He said things about me to other people, which he shouldn't have said. Mother caught me coming home drunk. She beat me and sent me to speak to Don Gino every day. He came back and tried to speak to me. I think he liked me. Sometimes I sent him packing and I started shouting at him. But other times I embraced him. I held him tight and loved him. But he couldn't bind himself to me. I was 16 and ill. I had no future. I didn't get out of bed for weeks. Then I did things I was ashamed of. I slept with men. The guilt tore at my soul. And the light came back to torture me. I invented stories to justify my actions. I couldn't bear my own weight. Mom found out about it. Her voice split my head. I pushed her away because I was afraid of dying, and I shouted to the whole world what was happening to me, and that I didn't understand. The police arrived, and they carted me away. I remember the onlookers shaking their heads. They would be better off without me, cleansed of shame, with something to talk about for a while.
Este es el final del diario, así que supongo que ahí es a donde llegamos. Memorias. Wow, ya, weón, palpico. La parte la uso palpico, weón. Registros médicos, nada todavía. Y esto de abajo no sé qué es. Esta está cerrada. Qué chucha, weón. Estimado director, hace 5 años que trabajo en esta institución. Soy una persona humilde. No he tenido educación y siento vergüenza al escribirle. Siempre he intentado mirar el lado positivo, pero a veces tenemos que hacer cosas difíciles. Es nuestro deber hacerlas, lo comprendo y acepto, no hay otra alternativa. Sin embargo, he decidido escribirle porque me está sucediendo algo que no es aceptable. Me he dado cuenta que hay una persona entre nosotros que se dedica o que dedica demasiada atención a las pacientes jóvenes que se encuentran confundidas. La gravedad de este asunto me ha convencido de escribirle. Seguro de su indignación y de las medidas que adoptará para resolver este problema. Por favor, acepte mis más gratos saludos y respeto. Sí, pues weón, sería un weón que estaba abusando. Y yo encuentro que esa weá tiene que pasar, porque ahí el abuso de poder en esas situaciones son jurado y verdugo, pues weón. Son juez, jurado y verdugo estos weones. No todos, obviamente, pues weón, pero no faltará la manzana podrida por ahí. Escuela de enfermería. Certificado de aptitud. Acá no hay mucho. Acá supongo que la clave es volver.
She stayed with Renee during those terrible medical examinations, and that gave her the strength to survive.
Mencionan practicar un aborto, pues weón.
They went to the gynecology ward on the upper floor.
No, esta no es. Esta no es. No, tampoco. ¿Cuál es la de ginecología, weón? ¿Dónde está el mapa? Acá está. 4. Esta es. Aquí está la dichosa.
August 21st, 1938. Confidential. Dear A, I know what you think about these things, so I'm referring a patient to you, Renée T. This wretched girl got out of control and caused trouble in the grounds. She's almost 3 months pregnant. The nurses should be more alert. I'm examining the girl on the 28th. I'll handle things very carefully, don't worry. We don't want to make matters worse. Then they said that Renee was crazy, and that the illness was all in her head. Careful, little girl, careful. I was scared, and I didn't talk to anyone about the illness. Only her. Not even the other doctor. He never touched Renee. He just wrote things down. You can tell me everything. Don't be afraid, he said. Everything's going to be fine. Do you want to know what I'm writing? I note down what I observe in you, everything I see. He didn't hate Renee. He tried to help her, but he rarely examined her in those small surgeries.
Es que se mueve esta silla, weón, por la chucha.
The doctor who wrote things down was in Surgery C.
Ambulatorio C. ¿Dónde está esa weá? Ah, ambulatorio serán estos de acá. Efectivamente, pues, ambulatorio A. Este estaba cerrado, el B. Diario de René, tenemos una nueva parte de la historia y esta vez es la parte de la historia que va al inicio. Acá.
My name is Renée. They told me that I have to write this diary, but I don't feel like it. It's not true that I feel better when I write. Actually, it's worse. I was a shy girl, and I just wanted to be like the others. But that's not what happened. No. I did things that, when I think about them now, eventually brought me here. Everything started with that damned light. It happened for the first time when I was still a little girl. I was 6 or 7. I was walking outside school when suddenly the noise started to melt into an indistinct rumble. The light increased out of all proportion and everything lost its meaning. I could no longer recognize anything. Objects, people, words, not even myself. I felt fear as a physical sensation. It prevented me from moving, from swallowing, from breathing. After God knows how long, everything went back to normal, but a new fear replaced the old one. Different, but terrible. Of the light coming back. And it did come back.
Eso es como un ataque de ansiedad después, po, weón. Miedo a que te dé miedo. Sí, esto ya lo habíamos visto. Experiencia. Ya, eso lo habíamos visto también.
June 1935. After much theorizing and practice in clinics for the privileged, the moment for action has finally arrived. Volterra is the right place. It's an avant-garde hospital, the perfect place for a doctor who really wants to make a difference. November 20th. Crossing the threshold of the asylum was similar to entering another dimension. A world of smells, noises, and images which it is almost impossible to imagine, describe, or explain. August 1936. The situation is similar to that in many other institutions. The department is overcrowded. Hundreds of patients are supervised by a handful of nurses who are forced to tie the more distressed ones to their beds or to radiators. They do 24-hour shifts. It's impossible to work like this. We doctors rarely see the female patients, and it's the nurses who tell us what's happening to the women. The overpowering stench in the wards, the constant din of shouts and voices that are barely recognizable as human, dirty, naked bodies devoid of any dignity. The lunatic asylum gets under your skin and wears you down. I often consider resigning. I feel useless, impotent, a sort of merciful jailer, a mercy that helps no one and only helps to ease my conscience. March 15th, 1938. Dramas are played out before my eyes every single day, and I try to distance myself from them, and just do the best I can. But a girl arrived some days ago. I couldn't avoid her gaze. All she asked in her dignified silence was not to be ripped away from her world. And me. I'm old enough to be her father, the father she never had, who didn't want her, who rejected her without even knowing her. I, too, refused what she asked me. I couldn't do anything but add my signature and consign her to hell. A danger to herself and to others, and a cause of public scandal. This was what was written on the accompanying note from the police headquarters. It was difficult not to agree with it. How much more violence must this poor girl be subjected to? Her gaze is so intense, so far removed from the carefree nature which should be the joyous hallmark of her age. I cried myself to sleep in my solitude. I kept thinking about those sad and frightened eyes staring at me.
Uf, uf, uf. ¿Quién es este, el doctor? No sale, pues no es Dota. Y quizá qué wea tenía Renée, wea, sinceramente. Este era el... aquí teníamos que ver. Vittorio, diploma.
March 12th, 1938.
Renée T., 16 years old. Menstruation at age 12. Housewife. Father unknown. Mother a seamstress.
Admitted in observation yesterday morning from Pontedera, accompanied by a police officer authorized by the examining magistrate of the Court of Pisa to be admitted for a psychiatric evaluation, which I have carried out. Medical certificate. Mental illness preceded by warning signs. Has suffered from depression for a year, believing she had tuberculosis. Food deprivation.
We can't read this document. It is forbidden. We mustn't. If they find out, there will be trouble.
A ver, habla sobre Renée. Habla... Ah, mira, tenemos opciones. Habla sobre ti. Así que deberíamos leerlo.
Have you ever wondered who you are? Yes, of course you've wondered.
¿Te has preguntado quién eres? Sí, seguro te lo has preguntado. Un pariente, tu hijo. Oh, mira qué bueno. No sé quién es. O sea, no sé quién soy en este momento, reviviendo la historia de Renée.
Since I got lost in the light, I don't even know who I am anymore. Let's read it and try to understand.
She is frightened, hears noises and ghosts, presents serious signs of anxiety psychosis, suffers from hallucinations. She is anxious, confused, her expression is distressed, a questioning look as if terrified, disoriented. She feels confused, hears voices shouting in her head. She doesn't understand things properly. She has been feeling unwell for 2 or 3 months. When questioned, she replies, "My mother wants to hurt me. I am always scared of her. She chases me." "Why are you here?"
I argued with my mother and was so upset that I felt like my head was spinning. There was a woman there who wanted to force me into a life of prostitution. They wanted to condemn me to be burned at the stake. Children whispered, called my name.
March 16th. She couldn't sleep last night. They wanted to condemn her to be burned at the stake. April 4th. Transferred to the calm ward, still under my supervision.
Yes, that's true. The ward where Amara was. Yes, the stake. The children wanted to burn Renée. She had to pay for what she'd done, like witches at the stake.
Fuck. ¿Qué es esto?
April 21st. She's more awake this morning and is responding to questions, complains of headaches. She became agitated when she found out her mother was there. She says that one day, many years earlier, she was with a friend of hers and met a man who made her get into a car and took her for a ride. He made her smoke cigarettes and drink liquor, and the man showed her certain things. He tried to hurt her and made her go crazy. She says he promised to marry her and made her swear to keep what had happened a secret. These facts were essentially confirmed by her mother. After that, she became arrogant, impatient, and hostile towards her family, especially her mother. She started taking off her clothes in public. Her moods would swing from laughter to tears. She rants. She pleasures herself.
I can't remember these things, only the guilt, the stake. I know I deserved to pay for that guilt. I knew it even then. She was uncooperative during the examination. She didn't want to be stripped and her body remained rigid. Voluntary attention almost totally absent. Probable hallucinations. April 25th. Confused ideas, unable to maintain a spontaneous conversation. Reflexes all normal. Reactive pupils. Let's find Amara, and we'll find the full medical records.
Primeras pistas, el logro que sacamos. Oye, harto supimos ahí respecto a al contexto de lo que le pasaba. Ahora me entra una duda. ¿Qué es esto? ¿A qué se refiere esto? Y te lo va como marcando. Es como... Supongo que es una postura. Claro, no la persona, el grupo. O sea, la persona, no el grupo. Y aquí... Estos parecieran ser iguales. Pero la flechita es un poquito más grande. Supongo que marca un poco las respuestas que yo voy dando.
The grounds at the back of the hospital, and then down to the kitchens.
Tenemos que encontrar el historial clínico. Es la única forma de entender un poco qué es lo que de verdad... O sea, qué es lo que le pasó a Renée, si es el tema. Esto estaba cerrado antes.
This is the road we used to take. If it weren't for her, in the grounds on that bench in spring, so many days. It was an escape, watching nature around us as she talked and smiled. And then there were the kitchens. Sometimes we stole food and ran back to the bench to eat it in secret, and we laughed. She did things to me. Sometimes she touched me. In the shower, I felt her body against mine for the first time. It was a shiver that warmed my soul. Eyes closed, the light slipped away.
Eso no pudo haber terminado bien, weón. Está claro que no pudo haber terminado bien.
She wasn't in the system. He wouldn't let her in. That's it. She must be the key to my memories, to the reasons why. Nature helped me to forget, to escape from the system. The scent of spring. The land of light was far away, and we spent the days chatting on the stone benches.
Aquí no puedo llegar a ningún otro lado, pareciera. ¿O sí? Sí, sí puedo. Uf, que no veo una mierda ahí. Aquí no sé, seguí este camino nomás, pero no, ni puta idea por dónde voy. Pero aquí no era donde mismo que yo venía, weón. Efectivamente. O sea, toda esa vuelta espectacular no sirvió para nada. Esto está en obras. O estuvo en obras, ¿no? Tiene la pinta que está en obras. Esta zona. ¿Me habré perdido de algo aquí? Pareciera que no hay mucho más. Es otro camino nomás que puedo tomar. Voy a darme esta vuelta. En vez de pasar por ahí, por los bancos, podía pasar por acá. Pero creo no ofrece ningún cambio significativo. Así que ella conoció el amor acá. Bueno, conoció. Puta, qué weá no le ha pasado acá hasta ahora. Hay que ver qué pasó con Amara, pues bueno. Sentada en los bancos de piedra, ya. En el diario tuvimos algo más. Si no me equivoco es lo que iba antes, porque al final ya lo habíamos visto, era esto.
He told me about Bruna's father and brother, but I was already very ill. The light had returned, and that thing made me suffer even more. It was my world, and it was crumbling. When I spoke to Bruna about it, she turned her head away and was silent for a long time. Prince Charming doesn't exist, Renée. At least not for us. I was 14 years old. I didn't think it was possible for a boy to look at me and desire me. When he asked me if I wanted to go for a walk, I didn't say anything. I didn't even have the courage to look at him. Things improved for a number of years, then suddenly everything came crashing down. One evening I came home drunk, and the following morning a terrible crisis overcame me all of a sudden. What had I done? I was terrified. I thought I'd lost my sight. The light burned my eyes from inside. The memories of the previous day emerged in bursts, images, flashes, which unleashed something monstrous inside me. Repetition of words was no longer sufficient. Now there was a voice in my head which repeated them louder than I did, and they were words of accusation and blame. So I covered my ears and shouted and hit my head against the wall and threw up.
Chucha.
I remember the doctor, the wall filthy with blood and vomit. My mother wasn't looking at me. Bruna was crying but trying to hide it. Charlotte was beside me. I never told anyone what had happened. He came to visit me, but I refused to see him. I became agitated. I think he liked me, even though things turned out badly. In that period, I began to suffer from memory loss. The few things I learned didn't please me at all. He told me that I was looking for him. It was all my fault. Bruna told me that sometimes I got drunk. People in the village gossiped about me. Sometimes I was covered in black and blue marks. I didn't realize what was happening to me, what I was doing. I was no longer in control of my life. From my little corner.
Claro, y aquí ya lo habíamos visto. A ver, memorias, tenemos a Mara. Registros médicos. Ah, sí, tenemos el primero. Tenemos el primero. No, esto está cerrado.
Let's look for Amara in the kitchens in the basement of the building, behind the greenhouse.
Bueno, el invernadero es ese, así que... Me tinca que es allá, weón. The Greenhouse. Algo pasó aquí. Está claro que algo pasó aquí. Creo que hay algo que tengo que encontrar aquí, pero no lo estoy encontrando. Oh, fue una imagen, pero no. Y bueno, un logro que saltó ahí, pero...
Come on, let's look everywhere. She must be here, I'm certain.
Esas manchas, esperemos que sean de jugo de cereza. Acá no pareciera haber nada. Aquí. Esto está cerrado por allá.
Keep looking. We mustn't give up. We can't go down there. There's too much water.
Chucha. ¿Qué dice esa wea? Van y reparte. Ni siquiera sé que esta wea, pero la voy a girar igual.
Where could she be? We've got to talk to her. Everything will be all right. But being here now, I don't like it. Come on, let's look for her quickly. We can't stay in here too long. They'll find us. When they found us... Come on, hurry. We've got to find her quickly. We've got to get out of here. They'll find us. But not now. Not yet. Amara's not here. Maybe she's in the showers. We can find her there. The water was often cold. When it was cold, we ran away. But when it was hot, then she came to Renée under that cruel white light. I can still feel the shivers her body gave me. Everything must return to how it was. If we recreate that magic, she'll come to us.
Ya, a ver. Uy, ahora sí. Ahora sí que sí. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Entonces, cerrar, girar palanca, girar válvula, bajar palanca, apretar botón. Easy peasy. Cerrar. Cerrar palanca. Girar válvula. Bajar. ¿A dónde está la weá? Este tiene que ser. Bajar pestillo y apretar botón. ¿Dónde está el botón?
Now everything is ready. We can go to the bathrooms. We can go along that narrow corridor in the kitchens. We'll meet her in the showers, yes.
Ya. El pasillo angosto. Este era el que no me dejaba pasar. Este es el que ahora se abrió. Y aquí tenemos que llegar a las duchas. Baños 11 y 12. Un poco separado.
Now everything is ready. We can go to the bathrooms. We can go along that narrow corridor in the kitchens. We'll meet her in the showers, yes.
Un poco como que me la jugué que era por acá. Veo algo ahí. Diario de Renée. Algo más pillamos. Esto lo vimos. Lo vimos. Lo vimos. Lo vimos. Esto no lo vimos.
I no longer considered my body as something disgusting and ill. Far from it. I began to look at myself, to caress myself, and smell my own skin. I began to explore and experiment, finding physical pleasure. My ideas were not very clear, and I never spoke to anyone about these things. Bruna, however, spoke about them. She boasted about her love stories and her young men. To my eyes, she was very lucky, always being wooed. By marvelous, generous, and kind boys. Thus, I fantasized about her adventures, pretending that I was the main protagonist. But how could I ever be like her? Occasionally I recall that she had black and blue marks on her body, but I was so naive that I did not understand. I did not put two and two together. It was Don Gino who explained things to me a few years later. He told me about Bruna's father and brother, but I was already very ill. The light had returned, and that thing made me suffer even
Pero
more.
esto ya lo había visto. Esto ya lo habíamos visto, sí. Experiencia. El parque ya, eso lo tenemos. 1930. Estas son las duchas. Me pregunto si será esta, porque habían dos baños.
Everything's ready. Let's get undressed and leave our clothes on the hooks in the changing rooms.
What?
Let's turn the water on now, and everything will be as before.
No, está claro que por aquí no es. ¿Qué me dice? Abramos el grifo. No lo vi. ¿Será esa la llave? Esa es la llave. Pues bueno. Ya, esto no se parece.
Amara was the only thing Renée had. They separated them. Renée went to the slightly agitated ward, the one that terrified everybody.
Yo sabía que esa weá no iba a terminar bien.
Those injections were a torture, the just punishment for what I was doing. And what about her? Who knows where Amara was? They had taken me upstairs into the ward where no one wanted to go.
Capítulo 8. A ver, lista de conductas femeninas perturbadas cuyo tratamiento requiere especial severidad y rigor. El onanismo, la masturbación, el homoeroticismo, la homosexualidad, madres antinaturales, madres que no desarrollan el instinto de maternalidad, rechazo de obligaciones conyugales y el adulterio. Guau. Está lista hoy en día, weón. A ver.
Let's look for Renee's room in the slightly agitated ward.
Ala semiagitada. ¿Dónde queda la ala semiagitada? Primero o segundo piso. No, acá no está. Tiene que estar arriba. Ha de estar arriba. Así como por pelear un poco. Puta, que te hacen pasearte, weón, para la vela. A la semiagitada, el 6. Está para allá. Que allá no hemos visto. Bueno, ya. Está claro que es por acá.
When there was too much chaos, they closed all the windows and the door. They turned off the lights, and it was pitch black. Some people fell asleep. Some others stopped seeing their demons and became more calm.
Weón, qué tétrica esta parte, la puta madre. Paremos con los gritos, porfa. Esto no creo que esté aquí. Este encuentro. Si bien podría ser un graffiti, encuentro que son visiones de ella. La semi agitada, ¿por qué mierda no la pillo, weón? Otra opción sería que por acá se me hubiera pasado algo, pero no hay mucho más en esta habitación. No sé si la sala de Renée, o sea, la habitación de Renée tiene que ser esa. ¿Habrá algo que no estoy viendo aquí? Sí, porque esto es el baño.
Let's close the window shutters,
Ah.
the door, and switch off all the lights.
Ah, claro.
We want darkness.
Claro, perdón. Debería haber estado más atento.
They put a straight jacket on me. They gave you a cold shower. They suffocated you with a sheet.
Chucha, weón.
They tied you to the bed. They tied me to the bed. A woman died next to me, choked by her own vomit. She was tied down because she wouldn't stop pleasuring herself. I can still hear her death rattle. I screamed, but nobody came. Everybody screamed in there, all of them. It was then I saw the doll, which wasn't Charlotte. No, she wasn't Charlotte. The past was like the present. That doll, that man, the shame. Renée was increasingly divorced from reality. How will I ever find out what really happened? How will I ever find Amara again if I can't even find myself?
Capítulo 9.
Montefoscoli, November 12th, 1939. My dear daughter, it is with great sadness that I heard what happened. Your transfer and your sufferings are a cause of great worry for me. It will take time, but you'll see, things will improve. They'll treat you and you'll get better again. I pray a lot, every day. Write to me often and tell me if you need anything. I promise I'll do what I can. Try to be strong. Mom. This is the last letter she wrote to me. Once I was put into this ward, I was overwhelmed by loneliness. After that medical examination, I received no more letters from Mom. Why is that man here? Why doesn't she come to see me? Did I make a mistake? It didn't seem like she wanted to abandon me. What did I do wrong? I'd like to be able to reply to her again now, to change things.
Ya ha pasado mucho tiempo, weón. Ah, chucha. Es como quería mamá. Estoy muy sola. Me han arrebatado todo. Tengo un miedo que no puedo comprender. Estoy totalmente confundida.
Perhaps she would have listened to me. Will she reply? The letters were sent to the archive. It was their job to post them.
¿Las enviarían, de verdad? Lavandería... No, pues tendría que estar en el primer piso. ¿Dónde está el primer piso? Por acá. Admisiones, sala de espera. Espérate. ¿Cuál chucha el archivo, si se puede saber? No, aquí no es. ¿Me habré saltado algo? Admisiones, sala de espera, escalera, sala de conferencias, sala tranquila, observaciones, comedor, baños. ¿Estarán en el segundo piso? Me parecería raro, pero bueno. Almacén y archivo de los pacientes, el 12. Al fondo ya.
When you were sent to a lunatic asylum, you lost the right to possess anything. Everything you arrived with was packed up and stored here, even the clothes you were wearing, in case you were released one day, but far too many never left.
Creo que tengo que dejar esto primero en alguna parte.
There must be a file with my name in the filing cabinet somewhere.
Estaba con R de Renée.
Dear Mother, please, I beg you, get me out of this place. I'm so frightened here. You were right. I know I was wrong. I understand.
Esta es la
I'm
carta
so
que de
ashamed.
verdad,
If
que de
only
verdad
you knew
escribió.
how much. But now I'll behave myself, I promise. Now things will be fine. I'll work hard. I'll be very good. Your daughter, Renée.
Sí. No cumplimentado.
This letter. It was Renee's letter, just as she wrote it back then. But it was never sent. Why? Why did this happen?
I received your letter, Mom. You tell me to be patient and strong, while I only feel fear and pain. And you don't write to me anymore.
If only these words could be my soul, I'd tell you what was happening to me. The kids want to kill me. They all look the other way and tell me what to do. I don't understand. She helps me, but what have they done to her? Can you tell me? Will you help me? Renee.
No entregado.
Montefoscoli, July 7th, 1940. My dear daughter, I have received no news from you. You have not contacted
No
me in
dejan
months.
pasar cartas para ni un lado, güey.
I'm sorry, but I don't have the money to come and visit you. Do you remember Mr. Onofrio? He'll soon be in Volterra for business. I've asked him if he would be kind enough to ask the director for some news about you. I hope he'll bring me some good news when he returns. But please write to me. I know that I was strict with you. You have to forgive me. I didn't think. I've given Mr. Onofrio a new doll for you. You told me that you lost yours, and I know you loved it so much. It's not as nice as your Charlotte, but I hope that it will comfort you nonetheless. Keep your chin up, darling. Everything will be fine, you'll see. Mom. Montefoscoli, October 12th, 1940. My dear daughter, I've written 2 letters to you and have received no reply. Every day, I'm anxiously waiting for a letter. Mr. Onofrio's back. He brought you the doll. Do you like it? He told me he was unable to speak to the director, but managed to see you. I pray for you every day. Even Don Gino said a prayer for you during Sunday Mass. Isn't that nice? I've made up my mind, Renee. I'm bringing you home. I've already written to the director. I told him that I'll take care of you. I'm not very well at the moment and can't work, but I'll get better soon, you'll see. And as soon as I can make the journey, I'll come and fetch you. I know you're suffering a lot, but please be strong, I beg you.
Wow.
Mom will come to fetch Renee, won't she? Mom is good, but she's not well. That's why that man came. The doll. Renee could have played with it while she was waiting for her to arrive, but Renee didn't have it with her. Is it one of Mom's lies? She knew that she'd hurt Renee and... No, Mommy's good. That man brought it. We've just remembered who he is, haven't we? It was Renee who was wrong. The doll's here. I know that for sure. Perhaps she's been abducted like all the others and is locked up here somewhere.
Por aquí. Ah, pero no llego. Ah, este era.
Now we can open the bundle on that table in front of the window. You see? Mom was good. I was bad. Mom was worried about Renee and Charlotte. I abandoned Charlotte. We've abandoned her. May the Lord guide your path and keep you from sin. Mom.
La foto. Capítulo 10. Pero aquí hay algo que no... Tenemos que ir a buscar a Charlotte.
Let's look for Charlotte.
Exacto.
We have abandoned her. Will she still be where we abandoned her, under the warm lights?
Qué bueno que no te moviste, Charlotte, por la chucha. Chucha, weón, me asustó este culiao.
I didn't do anything.
I just obeyed orders.
I only obeyed orders.
Charlotte has gone away. Mom will come and get us. She loves us, even though we're bad.
Orders. Leave us alone. I didn't do anything. I only obeyed orders. Mom will come and get us now. I didn't do anything. I only obeyed orders. Even though we're bad. Mom won't leave us alone. I didn't do anything. Charlotte gone away. I only obeyed orders. Mom will come and get us now. She loves us, even though we're bad.
I didn't do anything. I only obeyed orders.
Ah, chucha. Sí, esta es la sala que visitamos la otra vez. O sea, la otra vez, hace un rato. Esta es la de los electroshock, weón, me tinca. Qué chucha, sí, esta es la de los electrochoques. No, weón, qué terrible.
What was that doctor writing, sitting at his desk? September 7th, 1938. The patient frequently indulges in recriminations expressed in an explosive tone of voice. This morning she threw away the milk, saying it was full of urine, spittle, and all kinds of other filth. Crazed, she hears voices that order her to do things. She says she heard children singing and that they were locked up in a school. January 20th, 1939. Introverted, dazed, cannot focus on anything. When questioned and stimulated, she starts crying and weeping. At other times, she laughs. June 1st. Apathetic. Eats very little. She refuses to be touched. Does not respond. Spends her time in the grounds. The cooks report that she sits on a bench in front of the kitchens. October 14th. Return of impulsive behavior. This morning she asked for 2 eggs to make zabayoni, but when she got them, she threw them up in the air. Excited, clamorous, slightly confused, takes her clothes off. December 8th. Tied to bed for 15 days. High-spirited, tends to make witty comments and use vulgar words. Laughs hysterically and pleasures herself. The nurses report that about 2 weeks ago she remained in the showers on her own and didn't want to leave. They said that when they took her away, she swore at them and then lashed out and bit them. 2 nurses had to be treated for their injuries. They've kept her tied to the bed since then. Transferred to the slightly agitated ward, from the care of Dr. B to the care of Dr. C. I was with Amara in the showers. My memories are terrifying. They're not real, are they?
Parece que no, muy bueno. Somos nuestros recuerdos, sean reales o no. Es que es verdad, muy bueno.
December 15th. Dr. C. Patient notes. The abnormality of her psychic state has induced her to lead a life which is irregular and tends towards delinquency. Of fickle and flighty character, she regularly discards her household duties and engages in occasional prostitution. Prostitution? No one would have ever believed a lunatic, let alone a lunatic who lives in the worst sort of sin. Could such a person ever have been subject to sexual violence? Certainly not. Her mental deficiency makes her deaf to the reprimands of her family. She has shown suicidal tendencies. She was brought to the ward yesterday, agitated and hysterical. Treated with cardiazol, 2 injections a week for 5 weeks. They were only trying to confuse us with the therapy, and my God, they succeeded. It was as if they wanted to instill the madness into us.
El único tratamiento que podían ensayar con todos los que erais que iban a hacer para controlar ese infierno. El fin siempre justifica los medios para aquellos que tienen el poder. Supongo que era lo único que podían ensayar, o sea... ¿Qué otra cosa iban a hacer, weón?
It was torture, but we had no choice. Nobody explained anything. No one tried to help us understand. We were like farm animals.
Erais demasiado y ellos muy poco, era imposible hacer otra cosa. Ellos también tenían pesadillas dentro de estos muros, no sabían qué hacer con vosotros.
June 2nd. After a long period of calm and improvement, the patient is very agitated today and vehemently refuses to submit to a gynecological examination. She swears and curses those helping her, flailing her arms and hitting them. According to reports by Dr. B, the patient has been subjected to periodic checkups since she had a spontaneous abortion about 2 years ago in her 3rd month of pregnancy. Conception occurred after she
Con un
had sexual
extraño,
intercourse
nada que
with
ver,
a
po, weón.
stranger who sneaked into the hospital grounds. Details are contained in the charges filed at police headquarters in Volterra, a copy of which is attached to these clinical notes.
ES therapy.
A spontaneous abortion. It's not true. I can't believe it. How could I have invented things if I didn't even know what they were doing to me?
Sí, yo creo que va por aquí. Pero eso realmente pasó, está claro.
And the stranger in the grounds. I don't remember. Was that another lie? Or was another memory removed?
Ah, esa visión que
God,
tuvimos.
my head.
¿Quién sabe? Es que es eso, hay muchas cosas que no recuerdas, como si no las hubieras hecho. Porque sí tuvimos esa imagen en el jardín, pues.
The nurses report that she descended into a state of great mental confusion after receiving her mother's letter. She threw her soup over another inmate because she was very anxious, and then punched a nurse. Impulsive, flails about her. She rails against the doctor in vulgar terms while he is examining her, lashes out and spits. Block all correspondence to give the patient no further reason to become agitated.
Tenían razón.
August 20th,
tenían una
tied to
razón
bed.
para eso.
The nurses report that the patient is extremely agitated after the visit of a relative or family friend.
Es el gallo, es el gallo.
2 days later, she is still shouting all the time that he commands her, that she must obey and harm herself, and that she is not Charlotte. All visits forbidden, constrained to bed, and intensification of ES therapy until we achieve results. Calm down. You must be calm. Don't get agitated. We'll make you calm down. Is that the only thing that matters? Is tranquility worth the price of not living?
Cientos de nosotros, inquietos, apretados en los espacios de lo más inadecuados. Permanecer en calma era esencial para nuestro bienestar. ¿Qué alternativa había? De todos modos, era una vida que no valía la pena vivir. ¿Merece la pena vivir en pos de la tranquilidad? Claramente no, pues. Pero al menos, claro, al menos desde fuera era más aceptable. Es eso, o sea, está claro que no.
March 3rd. Alert, correct attitude, replies when questioned. The nurses report that the patient is calm. She washes and looks after herself. She affirms the existence of a certain Amara. She says that Amara is a patient who disappeared when she was moved to this ward. No confirmation. Probably a regressive hallucination. Evaluate transfer. Did I imagine Amara? That's not possible. She was there. I know she was there. I feel it. She must have left some traces of her presence.
¿La pieza Amara o no?
We can try to find her medical records in the archive where their letters were filed.
Eso estaba al otro lado. Puta que nos hacen pasear para lado y lado, weón. Pero ya está claro que Renée o tenía doble personalidad, o bueno, que yo no soy experta en esas weas, pero es lo que me imagino. Una doble personalidad en la cual, claro, ella no tiene recuerdo de lo que hace cuando está, por así decirlo, la otra Renée, como el mismo juego lo planteó. Y esta disociación le genera esas lagunas, pues esas lagunas de memoria y estas actitudes tan descontroladas, porque está claro que algo pasa ahí. Aquí vamos a las cartas. Amara, está con A, ¿no?
Amara B., aged 32, housewife, mother of 2 daughters, married to Mario B. So Amara does exist. Yet she had no children and wasn't married, but that photo, it's her. June 3rd, 1936. Admitted yesterday, showing signs of improvement. June 8th. Cheerful, calm, and tranquil. Her behavior is good and she's keeping herself clean and tidy. Discharged on June 10th. April 28th, 1937. Arrived accompanied by her husband in an anxious and nervous state. Has difficulty speaking, trembles. Discharged May 14th. March 8th, 1938. A few days before Renée was admitted, she told me that she too had been admitted only a short time previously. Arrived yesterday in a febrile state. Discharged March 14th. She didn't leave. Certainly not after a few days. No. June 22nd, 1939. Readmitted once more. The patient shows rapid improvement. Discharged July 2nd. August 1st, 1941. The latest of many admissions due to agitation. Discharged August 27th. She came and went, stayed only for short periods, but I remember she was always with me. Oh, what's going on? March 4th, 1942. Back again, the same situation. March 8th. Compared to previous admissions, the patient seems depressed even after a few days, although her demeanor is calm and she is attentive. Discharged March 25th. April 2nd. The patient is distracted and apathetic. Her husband brought her here and said, "She's not eating, doctor. She spends all her time sleeping. I'm so worried, doctor. You know her. You can help her." April 6th. Tuberculosis. Patient transferred to the Maragliano Pavilion and is in isolation. May 3rd, 1942. Death from tuberculosis at approximately 8:30 a.m. Is Amara dead? Poor dear friend, I wasn't even able to say goodbye to you. Enclosed is a manuscript written by the patient, probably in a state of delirium. I'm dying, I know it. I'm losing a lot of blood, bleeding internally too. It's strange. Since I came back in here, I can't stop thinking about that little girl with her sad eyes, her desperation. I only saw her for a short time, it's true, but she remains in my heart. Will she still be here? I hope to God not. I hope she's better and her mother's taken her home. My memories don't match up. What's the point of this? Perhaps my memory is playing tricks on me. Things are not as I remember them, as I see them. But she said she liked me. I just can't understand it. I just wanted to say goodbye to her for the last time. I never even said goodbye to her.
Brígido, weón.
How could a soul survive in this hell? I so want to feel things again. Pain, passion. Feel the damp tears rolling down my face. To remember that I was alive.
Racionalismo. El cementerio, muchos logros, no sé si ustedes los ven, pero ¿puedo hacer algo acá? Un taburete. Pero acá no hay nada. Tendré que buscar su lápida.
I can't be sure it's Amara's. These crosses are nameless. How will we ever know who is buried here? There are no names. We were worth nothing in death, as in life. If there was someone out there who cared for you, well, perhaps. I had Mom. Let's go and wait for her. She'll come and get us. She promised. Let's wait for Mom in the waiting room.
En la sala de espera. Espérate, supongo que se refiere... Sí, no quiero salirme, weón. Que la weá está allá arriba, o sea... ¿No será aquí que tengo que esperar o no? No, parece que efectivamente tengo que darme la vuelta.
Mom will come. She'll come. She promised, and she'll come to get us.
Este no tiene un puto sentido. Esto está ocurriendo en el 2016. Han pasado 70 años, weón.
She'll take us home. Now I understand. I won't misbehave anymore. I won't misbehave again, Mom. Please don't leave me here. I won't cause any trouble. I'll be quiet in my corner. How I miss that dark corner where I used to spend whole days. I'll stay there like a good little girl, but take me away from this place. I must always concentrate on nothingness.
Acá está la entrada.
Otherwise, I get confused and I'm afraid I won't be able to find my way back. Any thoughts upset me so violently, and I can't handle them.
Parece que había una manera de pasar por aquí, o era idea mía. Sí, me acuerdo que había una. Pero evitar darme la vuelta completa. ¿La puerta está cerrada o sí puedo? Sí, sí puedo.
I'm afraid of myself, of what I might do when I get confused and don't remember anything. There are some wounds I'm not aware of. And that's the pain that causes me the most anguish. I only wish I could hide away in a shell, in my little corner.
Esta es la sala de espera. ¿Por dónde está la sala de espera? Sala de espera es la número 2. Esta de aquí es.
What if she's been already, and she's already left? Let's check in reception. Miss, please send the following telegram to Adati. Discharge of Renée T. Impossible.
Oh, weón.
Psychiatric evaluation negative. This is a life sentence. I can't spend my whole life in here. I can't. It's a death sentence.
No. No puedo retroceder. No puedo voltear la cámara. Solo me queda avanzar. Este es como un laberinto. Me pregunto si importa el camino que tome.
Renée is kind to Don Gino, but he always frightens me. A cat goes into my mouth and eats me from inside. At least you can't see what's happening.
Juntar 17, no son pocas.
Don Gino knows everything. He speaks to God and he tells him lots of things. We learned so many things at school, and so we have to attend. How would we get on if we didn't? I do a lot of bad things. I don't tell anyone, but Mom knows just the same. I'm not like the others, Mom. Why not?
Un laberinto, weón.
My baby Charlotte is so beautiful, and she's so good. But Renée isn't. When I was little, I never used to sleep. Poor Mom. Mr. Onofrio is so nice. I'm bad because I'm not kind. Mom always has to work because it's so cold in winter. Mr. Onofrio helps Mom. How would we manage if he didn't?
Pero había una visión del señor Onofrio con la mamá, weón, así como... No sé si tanto la cuidaba.
There are a lot of them. They want to hurt me. They fly. Even Charlotte can't help me. Mom works so hard because I have to eat, or I won't grow.
Aquí empieza a venir lo complicado, que son los últimos. Ya, parece que se nos acabó el tiempo. Menos mal, porque si te dejan ahí encerrado hasta encontrar las 17 puede ser un culo, weón.
What's happened? What is this place? Maybe I'm dead. I can't see any light. Maybe I am dead. I can't get up. What's going on? What's happening to me? There's no one here, but these noises.
Hasta el inicio.
God, my head is killing me. I can't keep my eyes open.
¿Dónde chucha estamos? El ascensor. Sigo acá, weón. ¿Y esto qué chucha, Tienen un hoyo. Ah, es cuando te dejan amarrado.
May 4th, 1942. The patient had previously expressed suicidal feelings, but never acted on them. Yesterday, she injured herself badly, stabbing herself in the stomach with sharp, pointed scissors. Sedated, restrained, and transferred to an isolation cell. May 10th, transferred to the agitated ward for observation. Isolation, insulin, shock therapy. September 25th, positive response to treatment. She replies to questions and remembers what happened, but doesn't want to give explanations. She claims to have memory lapses, entire days about which she remembers nothing. She appears to be anxious and seeks reassurance. She fears she has done monstrous things in the blank periods for which she has no memory.
Supongo que esta es el ala agitada. Esta zona está derruida ya. Directamente.
November 11th, 1942. The patient speaks very little, refuses food. Force-fed with a nasal cannula. February 2nd, 1943. The lack of kerosene for heating and the food shortage is claiming many victims in the institution. War spares nobody, not even these alienated creatures. Despite her young age, this patient has fallen ill owing to the cold and malnutrition.
Renée dice:
Nobody laughs in here. I mean, really laughs. Not those crazy fools who laugh because people say they're mad. I don't know why they laugh out loud. They say I'm mad too, but I never feel like laughing. People used to laugh at me, but they were right, you know? You can't always cry and people laugh when they're afraid, don't they? It happened to you, not to me. It's better that way. They do that to show they're lucky. You mustn't take offense because it's true. And deep down, it's just like pity, if you see what I mean. But then you think about your own situation, and you laugh because you feel lucky that everything is going to get better, that it's all shit. It's all shit, this place. You're not trying to tell me it's not true, are you? An intelligent person, educated, not like me. And if I can see it's a load of shit, just imagine how much better you understand it. No, come on. No. I feel fine here, you know? After all, I can do and say anything I want.
No lo puedo parar.
August 28th, 1942. We hereby notify you of the death of Ada T., mother of Renée T., a patient in your institution. No known relative. Sincerely yours.
Onofrio, weón.
P. I have no one left in the world. Nobody at all. Solitude is very strange. It muffles everything, slows it down. It's an endless scream that makes no sound. A silent scream. I can't stop looking at myself. I will never leave this place. There is nobody out there for me. These walls have become my skin, and the wretched desperation within them is my soul without a voice. Here, nobody weeps anymore. How I would love to feel life, desperation, anger. I've stopped dreaming, daydreaming, maybe even thinking. I've lived in a reality which has corroded me and has stripped me of everything, even my ability to feel pain.
Somos un alma en pena, weón, en otras palabras. Somos un alma en pena nomás. Atrapada entre estos muros. No puedo bajar, supongo que será por acá, no. Algo vi que me marcó, pero... Ah, por acá, perdón. Bueno, esto por ahí no era. El resto ya está sumamente tapiado. Podría ser por ahí o por acá, que hay una pequeña apertura. Ya no hay indicaciones de ayuda aquí. Así que...
May 5th, 1943. Renee's state of health is good. She is eating and speaking. Her spatial and temporal orientation is good. Therapy suspended. December 3rd. She calmly asks if she can leave the hospital. Evaluate patient for 6 months. May 2nd, 1944. Discharge denied despite a favorable psychiatric opinion. The patient has no home or means of support.
Qué triste esa wea.
May 4th. The reasons why discharge is impossible are explained, and this is how Renée learns of her mother's death 2 years after the fact.
Oh, weón.
May 5th. She tried to kill herself in the night by hanging herself with a sheet, saved by the nurses. Restrained to her bed, she once more tried to kill herself by suffocation. The decision has been taken to perform a transorbital lobotomy.
Una lobotomía, pues weón. El uso de la lobotomía se extendió rápidamente en Italia, comparada con otros países europeos y Estados Unidos. La técnica original, desarrollada por A. Moniz, fue perfeccionada en 1937 por Fiamberti, quien inventó la primera forma de lobotomía transorbital, que después sería mejorada. La operación consistía en acceder a los lóbulos frontales del cerebro perforando el hueso orbital por encima de los párpados, para luego dañarlos con una inyección de un alcohol formaldehído mediante el uso de un instrumento especial. Al contrario de lo que se solía creer, los pacientes no siempre quedaban incapacitados, aunque esto era muy frecuente. Moniz fue galardonado con el Premio Nobel de Medicina. Esta terapia fue cayendo gradualmente en desuso por el descubrimiento de la clorpramazina.
10th of June, 1944. Operation successful. Patient tranquil and collaborative. Motor coordination capacity reduced, but she's improving. Transferred to the tranquil department in the care of Dr. B. 25th of October. Continues to talk about Amara and her doll, Charlotte. The disturbances of motor capacity show slight signs of improvement. Difficulty walking, not capable of riding, and the nurses report that they have to help her dress, wash, and feed herself.
Por eso la leche era tan mala, weón.
In the summer of 1944, Renée was transferred back into my department. Aware of little, indifferent, hardly ever spoke. One day, she said, "When I find the courage to look at myself in the mirror, I see a young face which is aged and looks at me full of fear." She is a woman now who has changed profoundly compared to the girl that I had under my care several years ago. Only the sadness of her gaze and her intelligence are unchanged. She's so young, just 23 years old, but is lacking all vitality. Perhaps her condition may improve, but probably not. Her life has been thrown away. And nobody did a thing to try to avoid this.
So here you live above my mind. I wish you heard
Wow.
that my mind is trying to read yours and
¿Qué decir, weón? O sea, por el solo hecho de que me lo haya jugado del tirón.
soon I'll meet you, I'll
Del
become
tirón.
the one.
Cosa que yo no hago casi nunca. Ya habla maravilla de esto. Crudo, una historia cruda, oscura, deshumanizadora hasta cierto punto. Wow.
We're growing, so we'll have
Wow.
lost while looking for ourselves. The time
Fuerte,
is
súper fuerte a rato.
could take forever.
Un Walking Simulator en toda regla, pero qué nivel, qué pedazo de Walking Simulator.
I will find you. I will find you. Our home, our heart. I will find you. I will find you. I will find you. Our home, our heart.
¿Qué decir? ¿Qué puedes opinar después de una historia así, weón? ¿Qué puedes opinar?
I need a face to wear, a skin so soft to dress. Let me try you on.
No mucho que decir, pues, weón. O sea, buenísimo.
Don't be scared, don't fly
Y denso al mismo
away.
tiempo.
Our home will
Siento que hay hartas implicaciones que uno podría hacer respecto a quién era Don Honorio, qué había pasado con Don Gino,
be where
que no me
our
quedaron tan claras,
heartbeats
porque
fight this
me había dejado
life
algunos seccionales que
together.
explicaran más en profundidad, pero ya se deja entrever con los recuerdos que sí logramos desbloquear algunos flashes muy cortitos, pero que a donde se dejaba traslucir algunas cosas que quedan entre líneas. ¿Y sabes qué es lo más terrible de todo esto? Que estas son historias que perfectamente pudieron haber ocurrido, que es más, han ocurrido historias así. Entonces no es como que tú puedas decir, no, weón, es que esto queda en la fantasía, no. Weón, palpico, weón. Palpico. Ahora, me queda la duda respecto a las elecciones que hicimos, que siempre te iba marcando algo, pero no te explicaba. Me pregunto si eso lo explicará después. o ahora, más que después. Las translations. Buenas, hay un par de errores, pero minúsculos. El arte está brutal. Bueno, la escena de la lobotomía fue cruda, weón. Crudísima. A ver. Esta, ni puta idea qué es esto.
My name is Renée. I was a shy girl and I just wanted to be like the others. But that's not what happened.
Bueno, ese es el edificio.
So here you live above my mind. I wish you'd heard that my mind is trying to read yours. And
Bueno, es más tétrica esta weá todavía. Claro, el diario de René, esta última oficina, po, weón. Me quedó la duda con las elecciones, pero supongo que eso lo voy a ver después y seguramente quiero hablar también respecto a esto en el canal principal. Les agradezco a todos los que me hayan acompañado y espero que nos veamos en la próxima. Cuídense. Adiós.